Tom Brady is not that good.
Welcome into another edition of the More Than Philly Sports Talk Show. It's great to be here with all of you here on Monday, the 9th of November, 2020. Year is kind of flying by in a way. It's also been slow, but hey, that's what 2020 is all about. As always, you're alongside my co-host, Gavin Tony. It's an exciting week. The Masters start Thursday. We got one more game tonight for football. We got a Thursday night game for football. The NBA is officially on its way back. We're going to start seeing some schedules of how it's going to look. We're going to get an exciting offseason coming up, possibly some moves, especially for our beloved Philadelphia 76ers. But first of all, Gavin, how are you doing today?
Zach, I'm doing great, ladies and gentlemen. For those who may or may not know, I've been under the weather recently this whole past week. Got my test done. It's negative, so ladies and gentlemen, we're all right on this end. And Zach, by the way, as all of America as a whole, let's take a sigh of relief. All right, let's decompress. Last week, for Americans, it was a stressful week, regardless of what side of the political spectrum you're on. The election is over, whether the person that you wanted to win won or lost or whatever. At the end of the day, remember, Zach, let's be together. Love everybody. But, Zach, I am fantastic. Still a little bit under the weather, but how are you?
You know, I couldn't agree more. As we get a nice longer show this week, we can break it down and talk about it, of course, today, given the abbreviated time we have. We will have to laugh about what happened on Sunday Night Football last night. I'm a little bit embarrassed for the Buccaneers. I mean, I just have to say, we'll dive into that in a minute. But no, yes, Gavin, like you mentioned, a lot of tension last week going on around this country. And, some good news this morning. The vaccine, one of the most recent ones with a 90% efficiency rate for its current use. So that it's starting to look good here towards the pandemic. Possibly we're starting to turn to a more positive side around in the corner with it if that vaccine does turn out to be as efficient as it is as it continues to go through more testing. So, of course, we're wishing for the best. We're hoping that, again, like you said, unity, but most important, I mean, of course, health is important. And we're hoping to get through this time period together, and that's what will be written in the history books is how much we can unite because, divided, if we're united through division, I mean, we're all going to fall together. I think Abraham Lincoln had said, divided we stand, united we fall. And so I think that's going to be a big test as we continue to go through this, and this will be sure as heck a year for the history books. Of course, another tragedy this weekend as Alex Trebek passed away with his long battle of cancer. For those who know, the infamous Jeopardy host lived a very good life, very inspirational. But it's been tough for a lot of people. It's definitely been tough, and I'm sure that when we get to New Year's, I don't know what day of the week it is right now. But we're definitely be doing a show on New Year's. I know that for sure. It'll be something fun to do, just to kind of
be together.
I'll find some funny clips of the show to go back to. Pretty much Gavin yelling about LeBron James and Michael Jordan, but we'll find some funny, creative things that we can go through for sure. So just an idea for the future. But with that being said, Gavin, we can get into it. What the heck did we see last night?
Real quick, Zach, before we go into Tom Brady's downfall and the reason why I said that, a major congratulations to Kamala Harris. Breaking down barriers, Zach. The first woman to ever be the vice president of the United States. Congratulations. Congratulations.
Every day, like I mentioned to you before, Gavin, I mean, you start with Barack Obama, the first black president. It's important that we emphasize, instead of taking people down, the media does a pretty good job of taking people down and making it sound like that you can't accomplish what you want to. I'm under the belief, and Gavin, we've discussed this in great detail, that motivation and determination fight. And no matter what side you're on, whether you agree with in politics or not, you can't not acknowledge the fact that people are able to break down these barriers and have achieved the massive success. This has happened across the country now, whether you're a woman, whether you're a person of color, whether you're Jewish, whether you're Muslim, whatever you are. This country should be a country of opportunity, and that's something that needs to be emphasized a little bit more.
They call it an opportunity, Zach.
I don't think the media helps out with that at all. I am under the belief that while we're not perfect, we are one of the greatest, if not the greatest, countries in the world because we have the opportunity. Let's prove it right. Let's make sure that we prove that anything can be possible and anything can happen. So don't lose hope. So that goes to anyone out there as we continue to deal with all the issues of the world. But Gavin, you know our saying, unite through sports, and I think everybody's united in hating Tom Brady at some points, unless you're a Bucks fan, possibly a Patriots fan. What was that last night? I was not ready for it. All right, I was under the impression that the Buccaneers were the best team in the NFC. All right, they have the best rush defense, one of the best defenses against the pass, and an unstoppable offense. Antonio Brown comes in. They have 3 wide receiver ones on that team, 2 running back ones. Rob Gronkowski, who's looking like a tight end 1 again. O.J. Howard, unfortunately injured, but Cameron Brate also looking really good. But you lose week 1 against the Saints in New Orleans. You get to host them in Tampa Bay, or as Tom calls it, Tampa Bay, Raymond James Stadium, in front of a limited capacity of fans. And the Seahawks lost earlier in the day. We're going to have to get to that, Gavin. The Seahawks lost to the Bills yesterday. The
We
Bills,
had a discussion about that yesterday too.
we will have to break that down for sure because that was a shocker to me. And Josh Allen was really good yesterday. We're going to talk about the MVP, how that race has changed as well, because there's a man in Kansas City who has one interception who's being very underlooked right now. We're going to have to cover that and give him the respect he deserves. But back to this game. The Seahawks lose yesterday. All the Buccaneers have to do is win, and they're unanimously the 1 seed. That's all they have to do. Uncontested, anything like that. And the Saints have not had the year that they should be. They lost to the Raiders. They've been winning games barely. Michael Thomas and Emmanuel Sanders were back last night, and they looked like an unstoppable offense once again. And that's not even the issue here. 3 points were put up by the Buccaneers. 3. Jameis Winston was eating a dub last night. It looks like 3. That's how many points. That's how many points were put up yesterday by the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. This is an embarrassment to Tom Brady. It's an embarrassment to his team. It's an embarrassment to the NFL, and I'm sure that that NBC producers were absolutely slapping themselves across the face, saying, "We put this on Sunday night. This was one of the most hyped games of the year. It ended real quick in the first quarter. That was an embarrassment."
Should have put the Seahawks game on there.
It should have been. Honestly, that Seahawks game was a lot more exciting. That was an embarrassment. This Buccaneers team who destroyed the Packers, and the Packers beat the Saints. And then you go on, you lose to the Saints. This is terrible. This is something that I am incredibly upset about because I was under the impression the Bucs are the best team in the league. And they've been well coached all year. They've taken down the penalties. Their line has improved every week. Their run game was good. Gavin, they ran the ball like 13 times last night, 12 times. This game got away from them really, really fast. And this is it's just so unfortunate to see what unveiled here. This was terrible. Absolutely terrible. Any way you look at it, there is nothing that you can look at and say, "Oh, look, the Bucs did something." Well, no, they didn't. The only thing the Bucs did was show up on time to the game, and they probably wish they didn't. I mean, this was just an abomination to the NFL. This was just embarrassing for Tom Brady, the worst loss of his career. What are the excuses coming in today? Because arguably that could have been the NFC Championship last night, Gavin, and that could have been the end of Tom Brady's season. Okay, and what would the responses be? You have a great O-line, no doubt about it. You have a pretty good coach. You got the best weapons in the league, no question about it. You got some of the best running backs, and you got a great defense. And I get it. If they lost that game in a shootout like 35-38, no one's looking at Tom Brady today. Tom Brady looked terrible last night. Looked like Daniel Jones out there just throwing the ball up. Someone's got to be there somewhere. This was a terrible game. And the reason I'm so upset about it is because I had such high expectations. I thought the Bucs were the best team in the league. The way
I had them as my lock, Zach.
The way that they looked in my lock yesterday did barely win the Steelers. We'll get to that in a little bit because that was too scary. But Gavin, I mean, what are your thoughts here? Have the Saints just been really underlooked all year by us, or did the Bucs just have a really, really bad night? Because this could have been the NFC Championship game, and that could have been the final story for Tampa this year.
Zach, my reaction was I was sitting back, relaxing. Actually, I didn't turn on the game for a little bit. Had the PlayStation controller on for a little bit. Finally put the game on. It was at halftime. It was 31-0. I was like, the hell is that? Like, what am I watching? Why did I put the game on? Zach, you said they ran the ball, 13 times? Buccaneers did? They ran the ball less than that. They ran the ball 5 times. And guess what, Zach? Ronald Jones only had 3 carries for 9 yards. Only averaged 3 yards per carry. Leonard Fournette, 1 carry. No yards. Blaine Gabbert, I guess that's what his name is. Whatever. Whoever. Who cares? I don't care. -1. I guess he needs the ball. They did not get double-digit rushing. Out of 3 people, they did not get double-digit rushing.
And they have 2 really good running backs. I have nothing but respect for Fournette and Jones.
And you can, and I don't know where LaShawn McCoy is, but you can also say him as well. 22 of 38, 209 yards, 3 interceptions, and a fumble. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm gonna come out here and say this, and a lot of people are not gonna like what I'm about to say. Tom Brady is not that guy that everybody thinks he is. New England is not that team that everybody thinks they were. Zach, look at the team. Look at the quarterbacks Tom Brady is beating up on in the AFC East. Tyrod Taylor, Ryan Fitzpatrick, Lord knows who the Jets put out there. Ryan Tannehill, and I want to say Brock Osweiler at one point because he was back there for them and the Dolphins. And there was one more guy. Forgive me. Did I miss anybody? Did Michael for the Jets,
You
Sam
can't remember
Darnold,
the names. That's the point. You can't remember the
Mark
names
Sanchez.
because they're terrible.
Who the hell has he beat? Who the hell has he beat? Last year, Lamar Jackson beat him. Pat Mahomes should have won in the AFC Championship regardless of
Deshaun Watson beat him last year. Mahomes did beat him last year. He did beat him in New England.
he did. Watson beat him last year. Cam Newton beat him in New England that one year, Zach. Who the hell has Tom Brady beat? Nobody. Drew Brees beat Tom Brady before. Aaron Rodgers beat Tom Brady before. Regardless of what happened this year, Zach. But my point is this. Is Tom Brady really that guy? Is he really that guy? Or is New England really that team? Because what I've seen today is an average quarterback. An average quarterback. And a guy that played in a subpar division with subpar QBs. That's what I view. That's how I really view. It's like there's nothing to like about Tom Brady after today. And then you got to put this whole is he really the greatest quarterback of all time? I don't think so.
That was my next question. Is this game itself discrediting his GOAT worthiness in your eyes? I mean, he's got 6 rings. 6 rings and 9 Super Bowls.
If you look through it, Zach, if you go into detail, you look at who you bait, and remember he has the best record versus the AFC East. It's easy to do that when you're playing against absolute garbage. A young Josh Allen before Josh Allen was good.
But you got to he beat Peyton Manning a couple times. Manning had him back a few times, of course, but you played. I mean, who are the toughest teams they really played in that division? You've beaten up on Ben Roethlisberger way too many times to count in the playoffs. There were some good Steelers teams that they easily dethroned. You can't deny his greatness in the playoffs, and that's what's going to matter this year.
That's the thing. It's the playoffs versus the divisional games count 40% of the season, 50% of the season.
You're looking at 6 games a year, 6 out of 16.
So yeah, that's half the season almost. I know that's not great math on my end, but ladies and gentlemen,
2 games shy. 2 games shy.
Yeah, but Zach, what I'm trying to say is this. Then you throw your Pittsburgh in there, and you throw your Peyton Manning in there, and here and there, Andrew Luck when he was with the Colts, and
they beat a pretty good Chargers team 2 years ago in the playoffs. They destroyed them.
Exactly, a pretty good Chargers team.
The Chiefs,
Chiefs and Raiders, but it doesn't matter. It does not matter because you know why? You don't face those teams every year for 6 games. I could go if you were to tell me those are the quarterbacks I'm facing at the time of the year where Tyrod Taylor, yes, Tyrod Taylor did have a good 3 years in Buffalo. We know Ryan Fitzpatrick did have a good year with the Jets at one point. We know, but Zach, if you were to tell me that's the hell I'm going against, I would have a great record. That's what I'm trying to say. The first year we see Tom Brady with great competition, or Drew Brees and a hot and cold Matt Ryan. I'm gonna say a hot and cold Matt Ryan because that's fair. And even Teddy Bridgewater too. He's not that good, ladies and gentlemen. He doesn't look that great. He really doesn't. There's nothing to like about Tom Brady this year. The Saints beat him twice and badly.
Their only 3 losses are the Saints twice and the Bears. And the Bears we're gonna have to cover the Bears. The Bears look terrible as well. But if Gavin, is Tom Brady not the GOAT in your eyes?
He is not.
Who is?
Are we talking about all time or just right now?
All time. What other quarterback has 6 rings, 9 Super Bowl appearances, a 28-3 comeback in the Super Bowl?
See, it's hard because you put all those stats in play, Zach, and he should be. But I'm leaving there for right now. But damn it, if you break down the regular season and all the other stuff we just covered, I don't think so. But at the end of time or at the end of his career or Patrick Mahomes' career, Pat Mahomes will go down as the best quarterback to ever do it. Fewest games to 100 touchdowns.
That's something I can probably get behind if Mahomes does continue to do what he does. But Tom Brady has never had the most glorifying weapons, in my opinion. His best receivers that he won a Super Bowl with are Wes Welker and Julian Edelman. Of course, Randy Moss was there for a few years, and 2 of their Super Bowl losses, infamous catches in both those games. An absolutely beautiful throw to Mario Manningham, and then, of course, the David Tyree helmet catch. And then the other one, of course, the Eagles played really bold, and it paid off. That game could have gotten really ugly real quick. Obviously, I'm not going to discredit my team's Super Bowl. I think it was amazing, and it was the best moment that this city has had in a long time. At the same time, I mean, you could probably say, oh, well, he's really, in reality, Tom Brady's, a couple drops or a couple of different plays away from not being in that many Super Bowls. He's also a couple of plays away from being 9-0, and you would not be able to argue perfection. And Bill Belichick doesn't look so great this year with his team, by the way. So I don't know if the coach is really all that, but we'll see what
Exactly.
happens.
My argument against that is you're right. You're correct. All right. You can't discredit the Super Bowls and all this stuff. But the last time I
I
checked,
did just notice real quick. I do have the Super Bowl shirt on.
the last time we got to stop living in the past. But listen, the last time I checked, Zach, if it wasn't for Frank Clark offsides, the Chiefs would have went to the Super Bowl and Pat Mahomes' additional first starting year, right?
I'd say so. I
And
mean,
if
that
it
overtime,
wasn't
you
for
never get an opportunity in overtime. They get on
and
the
it wasn't for Russell Wilson throwing the pass and them not running the ball, that would have been another Super Bowl loss, right?
if Matt Ryan could hold a lead. It's a game of what ifs,
And
Gavin.
Matt Ryan,
I'm sure that we can play it with other guys like Michael Jordan. I'm sure we can play it with LeBron James. I mean, it's a game of what ifs. It will always has been, always will be. We'll continue that discussion. Gavin, you're under the belief that Patrick Mahomes will surpass Tom Brady. I'm probably
and the
somewhere
only
close in that,
thing
I'm probably somewhere close in that boat, but I have not seen enough to make that statement yet. Anything else you want to say before we go to commercial?
and the only reason why I can't put Aaron Rodgers there yet is because he only has one Super Bowl win.
Yeah, and his defense averaged like 38 points given up in the playoffs. Coming up after this, a shocker in college football, or is it really? We'll break down the Notre Dame Clemson game, and then we will go around the NFL, and that will wrap up today's show. So stay tuned. We are now offering a new product on our Teespring. Wear a mask in public. We are now supporting a custom designed mask with our logo on it. Purchase it today, and 10% goes to a foundation of our viewers' choice. It offers a full nose and mouth coverage, single-sided print, includes 2 2-inch elastic ear loops, non-medical grade product, and finally, $1 from every mask sale is donated to a nonprofit to feed children in need. Enjoy today's episode. Gavin, Clemson, Notre Dame. They're going to see each other again this year, more than likely, in the ACC championship. I mean, there's not much here to discuss except for the fact that everyone said, if Trevor, and I'm probably in this boat as well, if Trevor Lawrence plays, Notre Dame wins that game. But Gavin, does Trevor Lawrence play D-end? Does he play defensive edge? Does he play linebacker? Does he play corner? Did he give up 38-plus points to Notre Dame? No, I didn't think so. Could they have outscored them? Possibly. It was a slow start for them altogether. But their offense didn't look terrible. Is Notre Dame for real this time? Or is this another edition of Fool's Gold like it was a few years ago?
Well, Zach, you got to take into account that Clemson's defense did not show up at all. And damn it, where the hell was Travis Etienne? I mean, 18 carries, 28 yards, a touchdown? Is Notre Dame's defense legit? I don't know. We'll get into that. DJ, I'm not even going to try his last name, Zach. He did well. 439 yards, passing 2 touchdowns. That's good. But Ian Book, 22 of 39, 310 and 1 touchdown. How about K. Williams? 23 carries, right? 104 yards, 6.1 per carry, and 3 touchdowns. Damn it, where's the run defense of Clemson? I mean, and then where's the secondary Clemson? They gave up 100 yards to McKinley, but he didn't have a touchdown. He averaged 20 yards per average play or average catch. They gave up a touchdown to Davis. Zach, Clemson's defense was not there whatsoever, and it was bad. And the offense of Clemson, I can't really knock, but only Travis Etienne. Where the hell was he? You're supposed to be the guy. All right, you were there when T. Higgins and everybody was there. You're arguably supposed to be the best runner in college football this year. That might due to Journey Brown being out. I don't know, Zach. I'm not that big a college football guy or Clemson guy. But when I look at this game and I look at the score, and you went to double overtime, if Trevor Lawrence was there, it might have been a different story. But your quarterback almost passed for 500 yards. I don't know how much more you want. It's the defense's fault. Where the hell was Dabo Swinney? Dabo, what I'm trying to say, Zach, is they had no answers for this Notre Dame offense at all, and especially in the run game.
Yeah, it was just inexcusable. The bottom line is that we expect Trevor Lawrence to be back and healthy against Notre Dame in the ACC championship. Cut and dry, the winner of that game will go on to play in the college football playoff. So Clemson is not anywhere near out of it. We'll continue to talk about that later. I'm going to, for my sanity's sake, not discuss the Maryland-Penn State game, as that was rather ugly. But speaking of a Tagovailoa, Tua, Gavin, had a great game as they went out and won against Arizona. I mean, that was a shocker, and that will kick off our discussion about around the NFL. We'll have about 7 minutes to get as many games in, and we'll wrap up tomorrow. Gavin, how impressive did Tua look yesterday?
He looked great, Zach, and I didn't I tell you Tua Tagovailoa was going to show out. I said last week was a little bit of a test for him. You go against a great defense and a great pass rush. I'm gonna make it short and sweet because I know we're on a time crunch. Who is my MVP, my rookie of the year right now? And after last night's game or yesterday's game, Joe Burrow should watch out.
You got Justin Herbert there. Tua could possibly have a really strong end of the season. I thought he was an accurate quarterback. He was my top quarterback coming out of college. I think Burrow's closer to his ceiling, which is, of course, NFL caliber, without a doubt. But at the same time, Tua still has a lot of room to grow. So I'm looking forward to that. I love what's going on in Miami. But, Gab, give me 3 or so words on each one so we can kind of get through these ASAP. But Texans-Jaguars, that was a game that came down to the wire. A great game, both efforts. I'll go first. Texans don't have it. They just really don't.
Luton looked good. That's all I gotta say.
All right, Giants and Washington. Alex Smith, a couple unfortunate turnovers at the end, but always beat Washington. Daniel Jones is undefeated against the Washington football team, 3-0 now.
Quick sentence. Kyle Allen, first of all, we wish you speedy recovery, but where's Dwayne Haskins?
He'll be the backup probably next week. Ravens, Colts. Ravens don't have it. It could be a lack of their weapons. I know they won. Their defense looks phenomenal. One of their defenders just walked right over Philip Rivers. That was kind of funny to watch. I hope he didn't get hurt on that play, of course. We wish him the best. But, yeah, I don't think the Ravens are going to go too deep this year. I'm worried about them.
Defense wins championships.
Next up, the Vikings and the Lions. No Kenny Golladay. They have not won a game this year where Kenny Golladay didn't play. Gavin, over to you.
Dalvin Cook. That's it. Dalvin Cook.
Let Dalvin cook. He's had a phenomenal past few weeks. Bears, Titans. Bears, Titans score doesn't say it. They scored 2 late touchdowns. The Bears did. They look terrible. They have no run game. Nick Foles does not look great. Not sure what the decision was benching Mitch Trubisky because Trubisky was undefeated.
Fire Matt Nagy. Right now.
Panthers, Chiefs. Too close to call. The Panthers have looked pretty good this year. They've been pretty competitive. Christian McCaffrey actually has a shoulder injury. He might be out for a few weeks again. Feeling bad for him. I have him on my fantasy team in one of my big fantasy leagues, so I'm upset about that. But Gavin, over to you.
Watch out for Teddy Bridgewater. Seriously, watch out for him.
The next game here is the Seahawks Bills. Russ not MVP. He's had two games now, 2 out of the last 3. He has had multiple turnovers. This is a pretty tight MVP race. You can't have slip-ups like that. Aaron Rodgers had one. He fell out. Russell Wilson has had one. He's fell out. Only one who hasn't had it is Patrick Mahomes, and he's my current top MVP pick.
Zach, I know we spoke on this yesterday. Real quick, Russell Wilson is behind Pat Mahomes now and Aaron Rodgers for MVP.
All right, Broncos, Falcons. Didn't blow lead. I'm pretty shocked the Falcons actually held on to their lead in this one. 34-27 was the final in that game. A lot of the points for the Broncos were late in the game. Noah Fant got hurt. Not sure what his injury update is, but Gavin, over to you.
Consider the interim head coach as an actual head coach for next year.
Yeah, they're 2-1 or 3-1, I think, since they've had him right there. It's a great thing. All right, Vegas and the Chargers. Most Chargers thing ever. They had a go-ahead touchdown in the last second that was ruled incomplete. I feel bad for Justin Herbert, but they'll turn it around at some point. I'm confident they will. You don't ever get this unlucky, especially over the span of a few seasons.
The record does not reflect the play of Herbert.
All right, Dolphins, Cardinals, we touched on that a few minutes ago. We'll get over to the Steelers and Cowboys. Are the Steelers for real? After yesterday, I'm not so sure about that. Could just be credit to Dallas, whoever their quarterback was, Gilbert or whatever. He looked all right, did his part. Zeke was starting to give the little bit feed me gesture towards the end of the game until they end up losing. Big Ben got hurt in the beginning of the game, came back and won the game, but they did not look so great yesterday.
The Steelers are overrated. Find out why tomorrow.
And finally, the Saints and the Bucks. Really are no words for this one. We kind of touched on that earlier, but not much to cover on that. That was pretty embarrassing. There it is. That was embarrassing.
3 words. That's not 3 words. What the hell is that? I was gonna say this week. That's more than 3. Oh man.
More than 3. And then, of course, tonight, Monday Night Football, Gavin. I mean, Monday Night Football has been semi exciting this year. I wouldn't say that it's
Who's
been
playing that?
spectacular, but I mean, do you trust Cam Newton and the Patriots, or is Sam Darnold going to be seeing ghosts? I don't even think Sam Darnold's playing tonight. Actually, I think Joe Flacco's playing. Who are you taking in this not so pretty game?
Oh, that's my Adam Gase impression. You like that, Zach? No, I'm not wrong with you, Adam Gase. I want you fired. Give me Cam Newton. You gotta get back on. If you lose, I think that's a fall Cam Newton.
Yeah, and that will possibly be shifting into tank mode for Bill Belichick. But we'll see what happens. We'll be back tomorrow. We're not sure if we'll do an hour and a half hour yet. Probably going to be leaning towards a half hour, possibly an hour Wednesday. We'll touch on that. Stay tuned, everyone. We will do our best to stay on schedule with it, continue to break down what's going on, and continue to cover on the NBA as well. The NHL is discussing right now their plan for return. The Union, by the way, a shout out to the Union for winning the Shield. They are on their way to the playoffs, and they are looking really good right now. They are red hot. For those who watch out Union, we'll try to get our Philadelphia Union correspondent on hopefully this week, possibly. I'm not sure if he'll be too happy to be on given the Cowboys situation, but possibly. We will figure that out, continue to discuss. Even if we can't get them on, we'll read up on it and figure out how good the Union can be, how far they can go. Gavin, anything else from you?
The NBA is going to be back in their regular stadium, Zach, so maybe we'll get to go to a game this year.
And with limited fans, possibly. Well, everyone, thank you so much for joining us here on the More Than Philly Sports Talk Show and getting up early with us. We will continue to persevere through the week, see if we can get some different times going, possibly get some guests on maybe later in the week when we can get some longer shows. Other than that, everybody, thank you again and have a great day.
Have a good one, everybody.
If you enjoyed today's video, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't. In addition, hit that bell icon and set it to all to get reminded of when we go live and when we post excerpts of our videos.